Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MLG Spring Arena #2 right here in New York City. And the next matchup we've got for you is the one and only Check 6 Sleep versus Evil Genius's Huck.
Huck, basically the best non-Korean in terms of results within MLG. So this is going to be a great game here. Going up against an opponent he has had difficulty with. Sleep is a fantastic Zerg player, has shown great games on his stream, is beating the best players in the world.
Yep.
And has great results across other tournaments too. And the one thing to point out, guys, Sleep was the guy that prevented Huck from actually qualifying into this tournament, and Huck was, got the replacement to be here.
Yeah, and Sleep picked him as well. That was not a case of him being forced to play. Sleep said, I want Huck again. That sounds like a really easy first round for us. That sounds like something that I can do and pull off. And you see both players right there ready to go. Sleep kind of living up to his name right there by the looks of it.
Looking sleepy. Look at the win rates, though. 72% for Sleep, an amazing record, but Huck has had difficulty, a lot of difficulty, especially within the GSL in this matchup, but he is here to make a stamp on that. Let's find out if he can do it.
Indeed, we shall, folks, as we head on in to the map right here. It is, of course, Cloud Kingdom. It's my pleasure to bring you Check 6 Sleep. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southwest versus his opponent, Evil Genius's Huck. He is in the blue trunks, playing Protoss to the northeast.
And like we said, is that Huck has basically had the most success within MLG, aside from anybody else.
Yep.
And these results just are incredible. 10th place, 7th place, 7th place, a win, Orlando, back to 5th place. And in 2012, he was 3rd place at the Winter Arena with a 4th place at the championship. That's an incredible set of results here. Definitely looking to once again hit those similar results, spike it up a little bit more here. This is going to be a very difficult game for him. Of course, Sleep had a fantastic road to the actual qualifying for this tournament, going through Jinro. Actually fell down versus Idra, but then, as we said, did manage to beat Huck to get himself a seat in this tournament.
That's very true, and he's not messing around against Protoss. The last tournament I remember Sleep in, actually, was the Lone Star Clash, where after an initial surprising loss against Huck's teammate in Control, he then slaughtered his way through Protoss after Protoss to finish in a very respectable position. Can I repeat that kind of success here? We will certainly see quite shortly.
It's almost like when I've watched Sleep's play, I've watched his stream a lot, he doesn't really lose to timing. So if Huck was to try and do some form of aggressive timing, whether it be a very simple +1 to a more aggressive +1 Void Ray, to a full-out 7 Gateway, +2 Blink, whatever those kind of 2-base timings, Sleep has very much so ease. And he's a player, he's a player that actually gets speed earlier on too.
Yep.
We're actually seeing an Extractor coming down here, very safe, prevents scouting from Huck, and it also, he can see exactly what's going on. He could trap Zealots early on that try to get out, try to do damage early on, and especially with the probe being there, why not? Why not take gas rather than take a further away expansion?
Indeed, Huck going Nexus first this time around. Gonna ramp up that economy very, very quickly. Sleep already moving into position with that Overlord. Spots it, sees the Forge go down after the Nexus here, and plumps that Overlord down in a nice position. It can be currently seen, actually. I'm not sure if Sleep realizes that it's not quite where it needs to be.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for now, though. I mean, there's no Stalker ever going to come out and easily can just retreat back anyway. But he does get great scouting information with that. We do see the hatchery come down, but we also see speed, potentially speed. It could even be Roaches this early on. It actually could be. So we're going to have to find out. He takes out a gas, and with that 100, he actually does throw down the speed upgrade here. And we do have Huck scouting the 3rd base. He actually has the pilot on the natural as well, so he knows if his opponent's going to take or not take that secondary 3rd base, however you want to look at it. Natural 3rd, I suppose you could say.
A couple of Lings now running in, actually, even before the cannon goes up. Well, hey, why not? It takes a while to get that cannon into play, and Sleep able to just have a little bit of a nibble going to the pylon and now going to the mineral line. Couple of pros being pulled up here. Let's see that top 3 control here from Huck, who's already dealt significant damage to those Lings and actually kept that probe alive as well. This is nice move here from Huck. Very nice indeed, but he does lose a probe and is forced to pull more off the mineral line in order to deal with this slight little bit of annoying harassment.
Yeah, that's actually pretty damn big for Sleep, considering those 2 Lings didn't cost him anything. It's basically a free investment, and he's made a big return on it already. Getting a probe kill, forcing a lot of loss in mining time while taking his 3rd base. Is he going to take the, taking the second base at the third base? It's so weird to get those two mixed up, but he is now going to be taking that third base, I suppose, on the natural just very shortly here. Comes down just about the 6-minute mark when you do get speed. As we can see now, his money banking up, the hatchery actually going down, but still that Ling inside the base gets so much scanning information. Now with speed completed, as long as Sleep has the APM, has the control, this Ling right shouldn't really die ever until a Stalker comes out or a Sentry.
Yep, it's going to have a nice little jog around Huck Park and to see what it can see, which is everything at this stage. It really is. Huck's... Will he be able to get this around? He does, and manages to nail that one down to the ground. Finally, nice little catch there by Huck, and now at least he can do something without it being scouted.
But he did spend a Chrono Boost into the gateway to actually get a Sentry out, so that Chrono Boost was kind of wasted, even though he did get the Ling. But now we do have a Zealot, made its way down, doesn't get the creature tumor, but does see, not really see, but being able to get in there to do damage to force units out.
And for the first time, we see that +2 range that the Queens have now got in the latest balance patch come into play as the Queen opens fire significantly earlier this time around. Just gives them a little bit of an edge. And of course, creep spread already very, very prolific here for Sleep.
Yeah, just getting it around that third base that's where the damage is going to come from, if any form of timing is going to be on the third base. So you spread the creep to make it harder to get a pylon in close, to make it easier for units to engage. But so far, Huck hasn't really shown too much information. He's got a late +1, so it's not really like he's rushing to get it out. He's not looking to do a timing. And now he's taking double gases. He's got 4 gateways in total. And I think he's just going to tech up. Probably robotics facility going out. No, a weird Stargate comes down at the back of his base here, which is an awkward Stargate because it's not really designed to hit any specific timing to do damage. And if he does try, it's so incredibly late where Sleep can pretty much be prepared for absolutely everything by the time Huck decides to do something.
Yeah, the question is, does Sleep actually do that? He has got an Evolution Chamber coming down already. Lair Tech is well on the way. Could, of course, grab himself a Spyro or go Hydra one way or the other to deal with this. I have to wonder how much he's really going to put into this Stargate play.
I think it's just to kind of help his expansion more than anything, because he isn't really rushing to get a timing down. I expect him to kind of take a third base shortly, because he's still building probes. Let's have a look, though. That's the funny thing. We have to follow this probe now to see if he actually does that. He has got a lot of sentries being walked in. But I think it's for just defensive reasons with these gateways being added on. But still, we'll see.
Yeah, he's putting down a hell of a lot of gateways directly in front of that Overlord. So it sees it. There's just one Phoenix coming out, plus one about to kick in for ground as well. Will we see a second Phoenix follow that one up? How much more do we see? Yep, there's the second one coming in.
Yeah, it's just for a wall off there, so now he only has to deal with one area, which is this third base area. So here's the probe to get that expansion down for Huck here. He also has got the Twilight Council in the background coming. He can start +2. Phoenixes can help pick up units, pick off Overlords, and just slow his opponent down. His opponent, though, is building a lot of roaches. He's at 63 with 10 roaches in production, 7 roaches out. But with Huck's excellent building placement on his natural, it's going to make it very hard for Sleep to do damage with any units he tries to pull out.
That's very true. That's a hell of a lot of roaches rolling out here, and the Phoenixes do spot that, but of course they're not going to be much use whatsoever against it. Huck can hold this area, adding on a second cannon to make that a little bit easier. It won't be up by the time these roaches actually arrive, though. Ling's coming in. A quick grab there with those 3 Phoenixes, because that's really all he can do at the moment. Not even enough DPS to bring that roach down. The Ling's now working their way through those rocks with roach support at the back. Needs to get himself a nice arc to engage here. As another quick grab with Huck's Phoenix Force. Actually got to add a Void Ray on here as well for defensive purposes, but he's going to have to hold this, and he doesn't exactly have a large army to do it with.
Yeah, he cannot lose his third base. He's bringing his units down now, and he should be able to hold. He has so many force fields available with a cannon, with being able to build units behind this. It should be fine, and especially if he doesn't mess up with Micro. He's using the Phoenixes very well, with a Void Ray coming down that will push it back. So Huck should actually successfully keep and hold this third base, but these roaches in the top left are looking to try and get a snipe down. Huck is not out of position, bear in mind. Oh, nope.
No, here we go. He's going to put the pressure on the front here to try and bring Huck over there as he tries to harass, but Huck is already prepared for that. Does he have the army he needs? He's got a hell of a lot of force fields, which will be crucial here. Sleep doesn't want to fall into a trap.
And great force fields there by Huck. Grabs 5 roaches, and is going to get a single kill. Even has more good force fields behind it. Perfect defense there by the Evil Genius Star. Really nice start here. Obviously, Huck feeling a hell of a lot more confident in this matchup. Sleep with a large supply advantage, but bear in mind a lot of that is in roaches. Yeah, remember, there's no robotics facility, so there's there's no immortal. So he's continuing to pile on the pressure here. 22 Lings, 6 Roaches. Huck has had good defense so far, but sentries only have a certain amount of energy, and there's a robotics facility coming down. Huck has to keep holding on. Maybe additional cannon here, because it's going to be very intense right now. Look at the minimap. A lot of units are coming.
I'm liking Sleep's decision there to add on the burrow. That at least gives him the survivability there with the roaches, with that Void Ray just having a little bit of fun in the center. The infestation pit's going to follow up here, however. So this air play, this air defense that he's currently using is on a bit of borrowed time.
There's a lot of Lings coming though. The Lings are going to be the pain in that bum, because if Huck doesn't react fast enough here, the Lings will get in behind the force fields, and that's when Huck will crumble. This is a very tense moment for Huck, and Sleep is setting up across the natural and the third base.
And can Huck hold on to both? That's the point. If he ends up losing this third, it's going to be potentially disastrous. Huck does get the force fields down and is able to throw those Lings back. Not perfect force fields, but enough to get rid of them. But the roaches now busting their way through the ramp on the natural expansion.
But there's only one force field on that third place. Now he's used all his sentry energy, and Sleep is able to break in there.
Yeah, but can he get enough Lings in there? More to the point, a lot have been brought down already. The stalker count continues to be very, very high, and every second means more energy regenerated to get those force fields up again. He continues to hold that photon cannon, the hero of the day thus far, on the natural of Huck.
Yeah, and Huck does manage to hold on once again, but more units are coming. +2 attack is finished. As you said, the infestation pit's down, so he's got a fourth base coming. He will take up to Hive shortly, but Huck has managed to survive. He got pylon blocked a little bit, but we're losing a few pylons. He's trying to replenish them, as you see on screen, to get that immortal out to make sure he survives. But that was a very tense moment for Huck, with only a single force field left. But with 7 infestors coming, if he locks down these units and then, you know, flurries through again with the huge army he still has remaining, it's still not over for Huck yet, and does ideally want a robotics bay coming down, but he doesn't know about his opponent's tech, as he used the observer to detect the burrow rather than scouting.
Indeed. However, he does have a Void Ray and a lot of Phoenixes, which gives him a lot of mobility and a lot of scouting opportunities if he wants to go in there. But with a lot of infestors coming out, he could get caught out and lose that Air Force very rapidly. Now starting to apply pressure to the fourth base, and we're going to have to see Sleep respond, otherwise he will sacrifice that. Spore Crawler now down to try and prevent it. Void Ray taking an awful lot of hits in the process.
And what is Huck seen so far? Nothing to kind of give him more information to create the army, to mold around what Sleep is doing here. These Void Rays doing quite a bit of damage, though, to this fourth base, slowing it down. But there's a big army about to come down on Huck's third base. He cannot slip up on force fields, but he does have a lot of force fields available here.
That he does. What I'm worried about is if those sentries get caught out in the fungal and get ripped to shreds very, very rapidly, who gets the first one? Infested Terrans coming in over there, and the force fields deployed to actually prevent the infestors getting in range. No good fungals coming down there. An excellent hold here by Huck once again.
Fantastic play here by EG's Huck, who wards off another attack while killing the fourth base. Huck is in fantastic shape so far. The Spire is coming down. We do have +2 melee and also the +1 carapace coming down. He does want to evolve into the greatest Spire play. But Huck now, upon defending that, upon killing units, he now could take a base of his own, a fourth base. He can actually counterattack here, and Huck is in great shape. Perfect play from EG Huck.
Yeah, I'm loving it right now from him. It's working absolutely fantastically. And at the moment, Sleep having to move back because there's a large army rolling out here from Huck. Sleep maxed out. A lot of Lings there. Needs to get those force fields down. A fungal prevents the Stalkers from getting away. And that is a lot of damage coming in right now on Huck. Gets caught out of position. Loses a lot of Stalkers. Doesn't have the mobility to deal with that. Defensive force fields placed down. But Huck, his army gets absolutely shredded here by Sleep in an unfortunate misstep.
That's probably the mistake of Huck in this game, was the decision to go for an attack here rather than sit on this army, sit on a fourth base. But he wanted, because basically the reason why he did that is he doesn't know about the Hive, he doesn't know about the infestation pit. This timing right now that Huck hit was a natural anti-Broodlords, anti-Ultralist timing, but that's not what Sleep has. He doesn't even have a Hive yet. So Huck kind of walks into a wall there, which has evened up the game once again, and now he has to go back in that defensive mode to hold on to this ever so important fourth base while trying to get the Colossus cannon with a robotic spell on the way.
Yeah, we've got more cannons going down here as the Lings try and move in to do some damage. Doesn't end up happening. Huck repulsing that one for the moment, but Sleep is not going to let it go on that fourth base. Once again, going in for the push and trying to bring those cannons and pylons down before they actually come up. Infested Terrans raining down. Immediately target fires down one cannon. Second cannon coming up. Huck with 5 Immortals with +3 is going to gut that Roach count incredibly fast, and that looks to be his saving grace. He holds the 4th very nicely.
Still no Great Aspire been morphed yet.
Interesting.
Sleep has to be very careful. He has double expanded to a 4th and a 5th base. No Great Aspire, though. This is a little bit of a slip up there. It now finally comes down, but it is delayed. This gives Huck a lot more time and has rebuilt this ever so key army. But now Huck knows he has to go for Great Aspire now. He has to be at high tech now. So Huck may decide to push out, but he should ideally wait for the Colossus to come in. That's the key in beating this Ling Heavy and Infestor army, are the Colossus. So he should wait now just to hold on to this 4th base, build this 200 supply army, which he's very close to get, by the way, 185, then look to push out.
Huck continuing to keep that Phoenix there just to keep an eye on the army, find out exactly what its composition is, how large it is. It is a big Ling Infestor Roach army. The Roach is effectively useless now because of the massive count of Immortals in the back there for Huck. Huck cannoning up, creating a barricade. He's already done this on his natural to great effect.
He's going to go. He's building the cannons to hold the 4th, now going. He knows that the tech switch is coming. He saw Spore Crawlers, he saw Spine Crawlers coming down to hold locations. Huck wants to kill Sleep right now with this push.
And will he be able to do it more to the point? That link count's kind of scary, honestly. He is going in before the +3 for either of those units comes in, which will be crucial, but he gets that 1 Colossus in there. Really nice force fields, bags himself a ton of links in the process, but there are way more where that came from for Sleep. Continuing to reinforce here. Huck takes little bits of damage here and there, nothing major. Roaches continue to move in, nice little blink there. And he's in a pretty unassailable position right now, but he does have to push forward. He is, once again, working on borrowed time. The Corruptor count is getting high, and the Broodlords will start to follow.
Remember the Storm, though. This is a very weak and fragile army that Sleep has. Storm will shred everything.
Oh, that was massive right there. Is he able to do the damage he needs to clean this up? Absolutely. The Roach count immediately falls, plummets right there. Sleep supply immediately goes back up as rapidly as he can. 4 more Broodlords, 54 more Lings in the background. Huck's got to try and kill this base right now.
And Huck is warping in a lot of units, but at the same time, there's a lot of units coming out for Sleep. Huck is about to go in, Total Biscuit. Colossus raining down the damage.
And there's the Storm as well to follow that one up. Blake Stalker's ripping through the Infestor count. Absolutely crucial. But the Broodlords are the big threat here, and they are hidden, and here they come. The Broodlord surprise suddenly as Huck tries to react to it. So many in a really awkward position. Link's now moving around to deal additional damage behind that, and Huck taking tremendous losses. Can he focus down those Broodlords in time?
Yeah, I really don't think Huck should be attacking here. He should kill the base, get out, reinforce, then go to another expansion, which he's going to do now after killing a few rather than before. So a little bit of a slip-up, I feel, there by Huck, but he did get damage done. With 4 bases still up, well, he's not mining from his main anymore, but still set across 4 bases. Huck has a great economy, a lot of money in the bank here, and will definitely just continue to reinforce with Stalker Colossus. Very simply, to rain down the rays of the Colossus on the Infestors, to blink in there, to deal the damage. And Huck's upgrade's absolutely fantastic as well. Now researching the +2 shields, about to finish, makes that army ever so more important. Yeah,
great decision there by Huck to actually go with that shield upgrade. Infestor's coming down. Bit dangerous, and oh, that's a nice blink right there. We're going to see the fungal follow-up. He doesn't have the energy to follow up with a fungal. Only a single one in the center here. That's a lot of dead Broodlords, Apollo.
Yeah, that's a lot of dead Broodlords, and that is the force of Sleep knocked down. He doesn't have the mineral income to actually do damage. 3 models going absolutely AWOL, trying to pick off an expansion in the bottom right-hand side that Huck may be guessing Sleep has.
Incredibly
but
risky.
Huck is in an amazing, amazing position.
Nice blink once again to follow that up, ripping through the Roach count, and the upgrades proving to be absolutely crucial here for Huck. He is not losing units. He is efficiently trading. He is going to deny this expansion. There's the cancellation going in as well. And Sleep's army right now is Roach, Infestor, and a few Broodlords, which is nowhere near enough to deal with the army composition Huck's got.
And look at the 3 Immortals above the 4th base here, just raining down damage here with +3 attack. And Huck is now suffocating his opponent as he moves forward for the killing blow.
There's the GG. Oh, wow. Nicely done there by Huck. He had to struggle for it. He had to fight for it, but he nails down that first map victory against Sleep, looking to take that revenge after the disaster in the qualifiers.
Revenge is close, and Huck is looking sharp in that game. Wolf, what are your thoughts, man?
Oh, well, guys, to be perfectly honest, I really felt like the defense from Huck was so good. This is something that he's always consistently able to do in his PvZ, is if you're the one attacking Huck, you're making a mistake a lot of the time. His defense is always so solid. His gateway walls, his cannons, he doesn't hesitate to make cannons. He can make a comeback happen no matter what his supply count is. And his opponent, I feel, used too much energy on Infested Terrans. He just sent so many Infested Terrans out, he couldn't fungal when it mattered a lot of the time.
Yeah, with Huck's perfect defense there, and Huck just looks so confident. Like, on the screen there, we saw him. He's like,
he's chill.
There's my revenge.
He's totally chill.
It's only halfway there, but it's about to be complete, everybody. I will get my revenge on this guy that knocked me out, that prevented me from being here, but I'm here anyway, and that must be a pain in the arse, Total Biscuit,
without
for
question.
Sleep.
Yep, Sleep is perhaps regretting his decision now to pick Huck after that stellar performance. We saw great hold after great hold after great hold. And then finally, what we got was the perfect army composition with the right kind of upgrades to deal with what Sleep had. And Sleep couldn't build the army comp he needed to deal with what Huck had in time, and Huck was able to pressure. And then we saw that disastrous engagement where, once again, the Infestors go forward. The Infested Terrans, as Wolf actually points out, wasted and then mowed down.
And we have to compliment Huck on his build, on his wall and his structures that actually kept the focus on the third base rather than an opponent trying to come into the natural, which makes things so much easier because now there's only one focus point that Huck has to concentrate on. And that makes it a lot easier to land force fields because he's not looking somewhere else. And it makes it just easier to defend, as simple as that is.
Yeah, and he did very, very well in that regard, honestly. The defense was phenomenal from Huck that entire game. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can pull off this time, and more to the point, what does Sleep do? Because that attempt to do early damage with the Roach push to try and deny the third just flat out fell on its face. It was funny because it did so before the Immortals even came out. Huck held it regardless. Yeah,
Huck with the structure placement, with the key force fields. But the next map, guys, is going to be on Daybreak. This is a lot more difficult for Huck to pull off that same maneuver. So Sleep can use his roaches, his lings again to pile through the natural and the third base at the same time. But we'll see what's going to happen. Sleep looking very focused, a little bit worried as he knows this guy that he's playing against shouldn't even be here in his mind.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what happens when you have good performances and that you get to get the replacement.
Huck rising from the dead. Zombie Huck coming for the brains of Sleep. He's already taken that one map to make it happen. We'll see if he can take the second.
All right, guys, so we're very shortly about to begin this game here. As of course, you can see both the guys on screen sitting next to each other, and that's actually the fake New York skyline. If you didn't notice the difference between the both, that's the fake one.
Yeah.
The real one is, of course, the one we saw earlier with MC and MMA. But I hope you guys are enjoying yourself, checking out the players' perspectives. I hope someone there was actually looking through Huck's perspective and being like, all right, well, how is Huck looking at to hold this defense?
Yeah, I would love to be able to keep an eye on all of those things, but that is something that only the pay-per-view customers can do, so thank you once again for supporting this tournament. Those guys watching right now, the countdown has now begun, and yet more excellent StarCraft action. We've only just got started. We've got tons of content for you.
Lots more awesome games, guys, coming your way. But first of all, let's go into map number 2 here between EG's Huck, who's looking sharp in that previous map, versus Check 6 Sleep. Let's find out if Sleep's going to change it up. Is he going to try and do the same aggression again? Or will he sit back and take the